Yep, kids have definitely started school around this area. A bunch of kids in backpacks walking in my neighborhood. So I'm like, okay. Friday, finally. I'm in a rush. I fucking left a little late, so I'm trying to beat the clock. It's foggy, so I need to be slightly careful. Yeah, there's 4 school buses. Oh, come on, bro. Yeah, I got out the door a little late. Hence, my hair isn't even done. My hair got out at like 7:46. And I was just like, oh my God, you know what I mean? So, anyway, good morning. Today is Friday, September 5th. Man, this kid riding a BMX to school. Bro, back when I was in school, I always wanted to be that kid to ride a bike to school. I hated walking. I mean, I don't hate walking. It's just, I used to be that kind of kid that was always paranoid, you know? Like, when I'd walk down the street, especially in middle school, it was even more paranoia, because I thought I was being followed one time by a couple of older kids. Yeah, I thought they were following me, so it was a little freaky. That, and walking in a middle school uniform, because at Spanaway Middle School, I'm pretty sure kids still have to wear uniforms. And when I walked that school, I walked home. I never walked to school, I walked home. Until I started getting the bus on my 8th year, my final year of being 8, when I was in 8th grade. Yeah, I used to walk home from, damn it. Come on, Light, why would you do me like that? There's nobody coming that way. That's bullshit, bro. Wow, okay. This light literally could have had us go, but no. It's a waste of my time. I'll be lucky if I don't end up late, like a couple minutes. They're very fucking stingy about that for some reason, so I'm just like, whatever, bro. As long as we're there and close to the time of getting there, nobody should bitch and complain. You know what I mean? Unless if it's an hour every single day, then that's different. If we're late an hour every day or 20 minutes every day, that's different. But if you're late 5 minutes, you know, once every while or every day, you know, it's not that big of a deal, you know. But every day, that's not good either. But once every while, who cares? So, anyway, trying to think. But yeah, you know, I should do more story times when I'm at heading to work, because it's that back to school season. So I don't know why I like to start talking about my old days, old life and all that. But anyway, I used to walk home one time and I had the uniform on. I used to wear these vests instead of the hoodies. The hoodies were comfortable, but we had hoodies, we had vests, and we had something else. I don't remember what. Hoodies, vests, and I think like V-neck jackets. I could be wrong about that. I only remember the hoodies and the vests. I had the vests because, funny story, the team of the Spanaway Middle School football and the sports, I'm not sure about the other sports, but they were called the Warriors. So I thought, my first thought was the Warriors movie. So I thought, that's badass as fuck, I ain't gonna lie. So I would wear the vests just because, what are you watching the Warriors as a kid for? Because that's just the shit I grew up on. That's the shit I grew up on. Every time I drive by, the kids are always looking at my car. I'm just like, yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I used to wear the Warriors vests just because the Warriors movie, and I never wore, I never kept up with the dress code though. I would wear, originally for a while it would be just the pants, and then under the vests, not really the hoodie, but the vests, we would wear these shirts, white t-shirts with the Spanaway Middle School logo on the corner, right? And after a while, I would just start wearing shorts. I would start wearing regular shirts under the vest. I just stopped giving a shit. No one ever stopped me. The teachers didn't think it was a problem, which was great. No one really cared. As long as I wore the vest, then it was fine. You know what I mean? It was no big issue, right? It was the same thing with some of the gym classes that I had in high school, too. They would want us to wear, like, these specific shirts and all that shit. I never wore them. I just always stuck in my regular workout clothes, I guess. So, hope I'm not going to be stuck behind this fucking truck the whole time. I'm going to arrive a little late. Hopefully I'll find parking as soon as I get there, because I really don't want to be late. It's mainly to break the habit. I don't really care if I'm late, but, it's just for the sake of not getting in trouble, of course. Move out the way, bud. I'm not sitting behind another red. Now I'm stuck behind a bus. This is a problem. So, one time I was walking home from school with my vest on. My house that I lived at the time was on the same street that Spanaway Lake High School was on. Not the same exact street, but, I have to walk past Spanaway Lake High School to get to the street. I'm actually going to change lanes when I get behind this guy. Oh, shit. Yeah, you can see you got the right idea, buddy. I am kind of in a rush too, my friend. But anyway, I was walking past Spanaway Lake High School, and we got out at 1:45. All the high school kids would get out at like 2:15. So it took me like 30 minutes, 45 minutes to walk home, which was a bitch, honestly. I hated walking home. And I hated walking home through high school. I hated walking home through middle school. I hated walking home. Now I don't mind walking as much, but I really hated walking. So, especially on a regular day basis, being burnt out of school. So, when I was walking home, this car drives by me and fucking tries to basically scares me. I'm not gonna lie, they did scare me. I jumped. You know what I mean? This car drove by and yelled something, and it startled me. So I was like, okay, like, this is an issue. You know, I'm like, maybe they pick on the middle school kids. So when I would get out of school, I would toss my vest in my bag so then I could blend in, even though I did not look like a fucking high school kid. You know, I was pretty small, actually, back then. I was actually really small in school. I would tuck my shirt or my vest in my backpack, and I would walk home with just a regular shirt on, and no one was around me to fuck with me and all that stuff, which was good, you know. It was good because, you know, people left me alone, but that was the way to do it. I thought they were gonna mess with middle school kids, so I just always put my vest in, and I would walk with people, but then I was the last one to go home, and the few people that I walked with once every while, so. Yeah. So, anyway, I'm gonna end it here for part one. Every time I just see the kids going to school, it just makes me think of my old days. So it might be pretty common if I talk about a lot of school stories, and, you know, because I don't really do that all that much. But yeah, you know, it was a pretty hard time for me. You know, school was very hard on me back then, but I guess that's what made me stronger, I suppose. So, if it wasn't for difficult challenges, it wouldn't have been that I am a lot stronger now, I suppose. So, yeah. But yeah, that's the story for the day, is walking home from middle school. You know, I used to walk all over these streets. I'm in Spanaway. Right next to me is the Fur Lane Cemetery. Been there for as long as I can remember. Yeah, Fur Lane Memorial Park. Big old fucking... Yeah, I used to walk. I used to bike these areas. I used to go all over fucking town. So, yeah. School story over. So, part one.